Once you understand the bias of the view, it helps make their show make all kinds of sense. Like when you know that regardless of their race or gender, they one for one have the values of rich, white, male elitists in Hollywood. That makes sense of everything. That they want to destroy the Supreme Court. They actually want to get at Clarence Thomas. They hate him the most, but they're willing to take Sam Alito as a trophy because he's a religious Catholic or whatever. You learn things about them. You start to learn. Then it all makes sense. Okay. But there's one thing that's always proven on every show when they delve into politics is that they are objectively bad. And I think Joy Behar is kind of the most basic and least understanding of all of them. Welcome to Doug in Exile. Let's watch The View.
Chief Justice Roberts and Justice Alito and his wife did not respond to requests for comment.
Wow.
The Supreme Court Historical Society condemned the recording.
Whoa, what recording are they talking about? Secret recordings were made of Sam Alito and his wife by an undercover liberal chick pretending to be a religious Catholic, and they're trying to just entrap Alito and get a real gotcha moment. There's some unpacking to do on this because they really don't catch him doing anything, but this is the only thing the liberals have ever had on Alito that could remotely be called objectively true evidence they could build a case on. So this is going to be a big deal. They're going to make something of this, though it's nothing.
Lauren Winsor posing as a religious conservative and talking with Justice Samuel Alito.
Okay, so never talk to someone who pretends to be a religious conservative, but this is all a giant setup. It's a phishing scam.
As a Catholic and as someone who really cherishes my faith, I don't know that we can negotiate with the left in the way that needs to happen for the polarization to end. I think that it's a matter of winning.
Okay, so first we're going to go into how she tried setting him up. She just said, as a person of faith, I don't know that we can negotiate with the left. We're so polarized. I think it's a matter of winning at this point. So don't negotiate with the other side, win. I only want to know, is that are the religious right the only ones that believe that? Or do not the left also believe that it's time to end negotiation? We're so polarized that it's time to win. Now, we're going to know what the left does. They bring out their magic values that only apply to the other side and do not apply to themselves.
I think you're probably right. One side or the other is going to win. There can be a way of living together peacefully, but it's difficult, because there are differences on fundamental things that really can't be compromised.
Again, who disagrees with Alito? Certainly no one on the left, certainly no one on The View. I'm going to repeat Justice Samuel Alito's quote. There can be a way of working, a way of living together peacefully, but it's difficult because there's differences on fundamental things that really can't be compromised. I'm only going to go to The View. Are you ready to compromise with Alito on abortion, on Roe v. Wade? Of course not. They're not. They are far more religious. Just because they don't slap God on it or the Bible on it, they might slap Marx on it or Moloch or Planned Parenthood or whatever, women's rights, whatever God you want to stick on that throne and have him be your icon. You believe what you believe exactly as much as any religious person does. So don't pretend like it's just the religious that are extra legal. That's what they pretend. There's this one last quote between this undercover gal and Alito. And then she also entraps Alito's wife.
I think that the solution really is winning the moral argument. People in this country who believe in God have got to keep fighting for that, to return our country to a place of godliness.
Oh, I agree with you.
Yeah. So does everyone on The View also agree that their version of godliness, which they've all called down before, is what we need. Now, we disagree on what that definition is, but they all think God's on their side. women's rights issues and all that.
Justice Alito's wife, Martha Ann.
You know what I want? I want a Sacred Heart of Jesus flag because I have to look across the lagoon at the Pride flag for the next month.
Exactly.
And he's like, oh, please don't put up a flag. I said, I won't do it because I'm deferring to you. But when you are free of this nonsense, I'm putting it up and I'm going to send them a message every day. Maybe every week I'll be changing the flags. There'll be all kinds. I made a flag in my head. This is how I satisfy myself. I made a flag. It's white and it's yellow and orange flames around it. And in the middle is the word vergogna. Vergogna in Italian means shame.
One could say the same to you.
Yeah, one could say the same to you, you ignorant jerk, Whoopi, pretending like, first of all, Sam Alito's wife sounds awesome. She sounds like a amazing, free, patriotic, normal American. And Whoopi should be celebrating this person who she's one of the most unique women there is, Sam Alito's wife. Whoopi, who are claimed to be allegedly pro-woman, should be championing this unique, standing alone in Washington, D.C., this woman. And instead, Whoopi shames her because she's part of the mob and part of the club and gets it, again, objectively, morally bad is the view.
Does this compromise finally Alito's ability to serve on the Supreme Court?
Finally. Does this compromise finally? Can we get rid of him yet? Finally. They've been trying for a long time. This tape has been the first piece, I believe, of real evidence way beyond the flag controversy or even what Justice Clarence Thomas has been given. I believe these tapes will be the next big news to get Alito to step down or to have the Democrats impeach him or whatever. This, I'm predicting, it's not big yet. It's going to be big. That's why I'm bringing this recording to you on The View.
The Supreme Court at the moment is so biased and so pro-theocracy, as you saw in what we just watched.
No, they're not pro-theocracy. If only I might support them even more.
That somebody has to expose them because they are running around arrogant and they have the whole GOP on their side, and we're losing the Supreme Court's objectivity, and somebody needs to expose that.
That's where the title of this comes from. She said they're losing their objectivity. That's, to a Democrat means they're losing their leftism. It's actually a real good sign that they're probably actually gaining their objectivity, making Joy Behar objectively wrong.
And they have no consequences whatsoever, these people. They're there for the rest of their lives.
Yeah, that's the whole idea behind being an appointed judge. You slow imbecile. They stretched your face so hard that it cut off the circulation of blood to your brain, Joy.
My problem is, this happens to us at the table all the time. We have a full-on conversation. Someone takes a clip of what we say. They blow it out of proportion.
Who would do that? What idiot would take a clip of these girls and blow it out of proportion? Whatever show would do that should be shut down. I'm Doug in Exile.